For thousands of years, one animal has stood beside humanity through war, survival, migration, farming, exploration, and companionship, the dog. But how did this extraordinary relationship begin? Why did one species of wolf become humanity's closest animal partner, while countless others remained wild? The story of dogs is not simply about domestication. It is a story of coevolution, two species changing each other over tens of thousands of years. Humans shape dogs through selection, care, and cooperation. But dogs also shape humans by helping us hunt, protect communities, reduce stress, and form emotional bonds unlike anything else in nature. Today, nearly 1 billion dogs live across the planet. They serve as protectors, workers, rescuers, therapists, guides, and beloved family members. Their journey from ancient wolves to modern companions represents one of the greatest biological and emotional partnerships in human history. In this presentation, we'll explore the origins, science, psychology, and evolution behind the remarkable bond between humans and dogs. The story of dogs begins during the Ice Age, between 20,000 and 40,000 years ago. At that time, humans lived as hunter-gatherers, while ancient wolf populations roamed across Europe and Asia. Contrary to popular belief, modern dogs did not descend directly from today's wolves. Instead, both dogs and modern wolves share a common ancestor that is now extinct. Genetic evidence suggests that somewhere during the last glacial maximum, one branch of these ancient wolves slowly diverged and began evolving alongside humans. Some of the earliest evidence of this relationship comes from remarkable archaeological discoveries. In Germany, the bone Oberkassel dog burial dating back around 14,500 years reveal a dog buried carefully beside humans, a sign of emotional attachment rather than simple utility. In Spain, the Arola dog remains suggest an even earlier connection. Scientists also discovered possible early domestication sites in Siberia and Belgium, implying that domestication may not have happened just once. Instead, humans and wolves in multiple regions may have independently formed partnerships over thousands of years. These findings suggest that the relationship between humans and dogs was gradual, complex, and deeply intertwined with survival itself. The domestication of dogs did not happen overnight. It unfolded slowly across three major evolutionary phases. The first phase is known as the commensal phase. Some wolves were naturally less fearful of humans than others. These wolves began lingering near human campsites, feeding on discarded food scraps. Humans likely tolerated them because the wolves cleaned waste and warned of danger. Without realizing it, humans had started selecting for tameness. The second phase was the mutualism phase. Over time, both species discovered they could benefit from cooperation. Wolves helped humans track prey, guard camps, and detect threats. In return, humans provided food, warmth, and shelter. This partnership improved survival for both species. Finally came the artificial selection phase. Humans intentionally bred dogs for useful traits such as obedience, strength, speed, hunting ability, or companionship. Over generations, this selective breeding transformed wolves into the wide variety of dog breeds we know today. This process changed not only dogs' appearance, but also their brains, behavior, and emotional connection with humans. Modern science has revealed astonishing insights into how dogs evolved from ancient wolves. One of the most famous experiments was conducted by Soviet scientist Dmitry Belyaev in the 20th century. He selectively bred foxes based only on tameness. Surprisingly, within just a few generations, the foxes developed floppy ears, curled tails, playful personalities, and shorter snouts, 6 physical traits commonly seen in dogs. This experiment demonstrated something called domestication syndrome. Selecting for friendly behavior can unintentionally trigger major physical and biological changes. Genetic studies also show that dogs descend from an extinct late Pleistocene wolf lineage rather than any living wolf species today. Mitochondrial DNA analysis further divides domestic dogs into 4 major maternal lineages known as haplogroups A, B, C, and D. Researchers discovered another fascinating adaptation. Dogs evolved genes that improved starch digestion. Unlike wolves, dogs became capable of thriving on food associated with human settlements. This allowed them to adapt more successfully to human lifestyles. Together, genetics and behavioral science confirm that dogs evolved specifically through their relationship with humans. One of the most extraordinary aspects of the human-dog relationship is something incredibly simple: When dogs and humans look into each other's eyes, both species experience an increase in oxytocin, often called the love hormone. This same chemical strengthens the emotional bond between mothers and infants. Scientists discovered that mutual gazing creates a powerful feedback loop. The more humans and dogs make eye contact, the more oxytocin is released, strengthening trust, affection, and attachment. What makes this remarkable is that this response is extremely rare between different species. Dogs evolved a communication system specifically tuned to human emotions and social behavior. Unlike wolves, dogs naturally seek human faces, interpret our expressions, and respond to our emotional states. In many ways, dogs learn to emotionally communicate with humans better than any other animal on Earth. This biological connection helps explain why dogs often feel less like pets and more like family. Throughout history, dogs have served humanity in countless ways. Early dogs became hunting partners, helping humans track, corner, and retrieve prey. This cooperation improved hunting efficiency and increased survival for early human communities. Dogs also became guardians. Ancient Romans even displayed signs reading canum, meaning beware of the dog, recognizing their protective abilities. In agricultural societies, herding dogs learned to control livestock using gaze, posture, and movement with incredible precision. Other dogs protected grain supplies by hunting rats and pests. In Arctic regions, sled dogs enabled transportation across frozen landscapes for thousands of years, helping humans survive in some of the harshest environments on Earth. In modern times, dogs serve in military and police operations, assisting in detection, patrol, and rescue missions. Therapy and assistance dogs now support people with disabilities, emotional trauma, anxiety, and medical conditions. Few animals in history have adapted to as many human roles as dogs have. As humans and dogs evolved together, dogs developed remarkable cognitive abilities focused specifically on understanding people. Research shows that dogs can interpret human pointing gestures, facial expressions, emotional tones, and body language more effectively than even chimpanzees in some situations. This ability likely evolved because dogs that understood humans had better chances of survival. Over generations, communication became instinctive. Dogs learned to read subtle social signals, eye movement, voice tone, posture, and emotional energy. They can sense stress, fear, happiness, and even illness in humans. Unlike many animals that simply obey commands, dogs actively observe and predict human behavior. This cognitive adaptation helped strengthen cooperation between the two species. Essentially, humans and dogs evolved a shared communication system built on trust, emotion, and social intelligence. That is why many dog owners feel their pets understand them on a deeply personal level. The history of dog domestication spans tens of thousands of years. Between 40,000 and 30,000 years ago, genetic divergence separated the ancestors of dogs from ancient wolves. Around 17,500 years ago, dog remains discovered in Spain provided evidence of an early human-canine relationship. By 14,500 years ago, the Bonn Oberkassel burial in Germany showed dogs being buried alongside humans, suggesting emotional companionship had already formed. Between 12,000 and 15,000 years ago, domestication became widespread across multiple human societies. Roughly 9,000 years ago, sled dogs were already being used in Arctic Siberia, demonstrating how specialized working roles had emerged. Then, during the last 150 years, selective breeding accelerated dramatically during the Victorian era, producing the modern dog breeds we recognize today. From wild Ice Age predators to specialized companions, the transformation of dogs is one of evolution's most remarkable success stories. Today, the bond between humans and dogs extends far beyond survival. It has become deeply emotional and even therapeutic. Studies show that interacting with dogs reduces cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Petting a dog can calm the nervous system, lower anxiety, and improve emotional well-being. Research also reveals that dog owners often experience healthier cardiovascular responses to stress, including lower blood pressure and improved heart health. Psychologists describe dogs as a safe haven during emotional distress. Much like close human relationships, dogs provide comfort, stability, and emotional security. This is why therapy dogs are increasingly used in hospitals, schools, rehabilitation centers, and disaster zones worldwide. Their presence can reduce fear, ease loneliness, and support emotional recovery. In a rapidly changing world, dogs continue to fulfill one of humanity's oldest needs: companionship and connection. The relationship between humans and dogs is more than domestication. It is a partnership forged through survival, trust, adaptation, and emotion across 40,000 years of shared history. Dogs did not simply adapt to human civilization at 8, 9, they became part of it. They protected us, hunted beside us, guided us, comforted us, and evolved with us. Today, more than 900 million dogs live around the world, reflecting the strength of a bond unlike any other between species. From ancient wolf ancestors to modern companions sleeping in our homes, dogs remain humanity's closest animal ally. And perhaps the most remarkable part of this story is that after thousands of years, the connection between humans and dogs continues to grow stronger. The story of dogs is ultimately the story of friendship, loyalty, and coexistence. One of the greatest partnerships in the history of life on Earth.